Hello friends, welcome to my channel and hope you are all fine. Benjamin Franklin once said, "If you would not be forgotten as soon as you are dead and rotten, either write something worth reading or do something worth writing." The person whom I am going to discuss today has done both. He is one of the most loved authors and has extensively produced remarkable and inspiring books. His works aren't just literature, they are a human experience. The beauty of his literary creations lies in the lucidity and organic feel of his writings. There is a subtle essence in every story or novella that makes it stand out. The genius of his writings lies in the fact that he takes the mind's eye in for a trip, and any discussion about books remains incomplete without mentioning his name. He is an Indian author of British descent. Yes, I am talking about Ruskin Bond. I recently completed reading his memoir, which has details of his life story, the struggles he faced while growing up, and the experiences he gained during the adventurous journey of his life. So, let us explore the life of this great author and the inspiration behind his enchanting story world from the book Lone Fox Dancing, My Autobiography by Ruskin Bond. Ruskin Bond has contributed a lot towards Indian literature. He is immensely popular for his creative, original and artistic writings. Due to his inspirational and remarkable poems, he is regarded as one of the India's finest and most popular author. Since the early 1950s, he has written novels, memoirs, short story collections, and books of essays and poetry for readers of all ages. Some of his famous books are The Room on the Roof, Rusty the Boy from the Hills, Delhi is Not Far, The Hidden Pool, The Cherry Tree, and many more. Few of his books, like The Blue Umbrella, A Flight of Pigeons, and Susanna's Seven Husbands, have also found its way to the silver screen by being adapted into films. Following such inspirational works, he has received many honors. Mr. Bond received the Sahitya Akademi Award in 1992 for Our Trees Still Grow in Dehra, and has also been honored with Padma Shri and Padma Bhushan for his contribution to literature. Lone Fox Dancing is an autobiography of the master storyteller Ruskin Bond, who does some magic with his pen, and he has the ability to transform the utterly mundane events of a normal routine life into the most beautiful and interesting pieces of writing. It is about an author who had a lonely childhood and used that loneliness in a way to become a great writer. Lone Fox Dancing takes us through Ruskin Bond's journey from his good and bad experiences at his boarding school, his winter vacation in Dehra, and to his broken family with whom he does not really fit. After finishing his school studies, owing partly to their financial status and partly to the limited options that were available in those days, he decided not to pursue further education, but instead decided to become a writer. He was good at it. He had already written a few things and won awards for his writings. Here starts the struggle of a young writer, first trying to write, and secondly, finding someone who will publish the work. He writes about his troubles at home and his struggles to make a living as a writer in those times. The book takes us through the princely states of Jamnagar with its sprawling beaches, then on to the Delhi of the 50s and the 60s. A small stop in England on the way, and then on to the hills of Missouri, which have remained unchanged in the ever-changing landscape of the country. Mr. Bond, in this book, has also mentioned India's transition from pre-independence time to where it is now. The book is divided into 4 parts: his early childhood, his school years and the time spent in the boarding school, his life and struggles in England, and finally when he is back in India. He has penned down the effects of living in a dysfunctional family and the pain of losing his father in his early age. He has expressed his sorrow and lamentation so profoundly that the reader would also get a feeling of loneliness while reading it. I would like to mention an extract from this book when a young Ruskin is given the news of his father's untimely death. He writes, "The bottom had fallen out of my world. A great void opened in front of me. I knew immediately that my life had changed forever, and that there was nothing, absolutely nothing to look forward to. It took me a lifetime to come to terms with this loss, and sometimes I still wonder if I have." You never really get over the loss of a beloved. You learn to live despite it. His writing style is simple but not simplistic. It's extremely captivating and keeps a reader engaged to the book at all points of time. There is a part where he describes the look of his room after a snowstorm. This description of the room is so appealing that it will appear to the readers as if they are almost there standing in that room. His description of the greenery of tall deodars, or the colors of the sunset, or the raindrops shining on his window, or the candle illuminating his room in the absence of electricity, are so real, so absolute, that one can't possibly describe them in any other way. Also, the way he talks about the nature. Now, a lot of authors write about nature. It's something that has inspired writers throughout the centuries, and it still continues to be a great inspiration for writers. But the way Ruskin Bond talks about nature is absolutely captivating and engaging. The book also gives a true account of the difficulties a writer faces, the hardships, the challenges, the uncertainties, all of which comes along with the job. Not only does it give insights into how Ruskin got the plots of many of his stories, but also about the struggles of being only an author and trying to make a living out of it. In his own words, "I had no illusions about what lay ahead, but my lifelong feeling of insecurity had come up against a dream. I had an old dream of living only by my writing, a dream of freedom. Lack of money had made it difficult for me to realize it, but then I knew that if I was going to wait for money to come, I might have to wait until I was old and grey, full of sleep. If the dream is to become reality, then this was the time to do something about it." His accommodating nature teaches us to value our relationship and the people around us. His love for India is also very much evident from this book. One obvious thing that can be learned from his simple yet captivating writing is to see the ordinary routine things around us with an interesting perspective. This is about a man who is still a boy at heart and who loves taking walks in the hilly wood of Missouri and Dehra. The narrative is simple, pleasant, and the writing is splendid. A simple, modest, non-judgmental life that has an infectious warmth which is bound to draw you closer to the actual Ruskin Bond, and the personal photographs in the middle of the book serves as an icing on the cake. We can learn endless lessons from this magnificently well written autobiography, as Ruskin Bond's life is a perfect script that serves this purpose very well. The most important lesson we get from his life is that one must follow his dream and work honestly towards it. In his words, in the page number 274, last paragraph, he writes, "I became old and found myself in demand. People started recognizing me and asking for my autograph. I suppose if you keep at something for 50 or 60 years, you will have produced so much material that people will take notice. Perseverance does pay. Men who work steadily for money get rich. Men and women who work day and night for fame or power reach their goal. And those who work for deeper, more artistic or spiritual achievements will find them too." His life also teaches us that one must use difficult situations in life to flourish, not as excuses. His life was full of difficulties. Life gave him several occasions to give up his writing, but Bond did not. Instead, he embraced the challenges of life and emerged as a better person and a writer. So, Lone Fox Dancing. This book is really worth reading, very inspiring, and it's a beautifully written autobiography of Ruskin Bond. It has something for everyone, with lot of key messages, learnings, beautiful photos of his childhood, and it is a must read for anyone who has grown up with his books. It is for anyone who is fascinated with the lives of people. It is also for anyone who loves nature, the trees, sunsets, mountains, and it is also for those who love books, writings, and most for those who aspire to be writers. Lone Fox Dancing is a book of enduring magic like Ruskin Bond himself. Before I complete, I would like to thank Mr. Kabir Kapoor, the Dean and the founder of Cinema Satsang Film School, for gifting me this lovely great book. Hope you liked this review, and in order to know more about Ruskin Bond, please read this autobiography, Lone Fox Dancing, a delightful and light read. Highly recommended, especially for all Ruskin Bond lovers. Thank you.